What is going on, everyone? And welcome to another edition of Houston Texans football on the Roundtable Network. I am one part of your show, Ruben Calvillo, and I am joined by my guy, AD. You can find him
Mhm.
on the H Town Rundown. AD, how's it going?
Man, it's a beautiful day outside, man. I'm enjoying life right now. Enjoying being a Houston Texan fan and Houston Texan football, man.
Dude, can you believe we are 14 days away from the NFL draft? Like,
Mhm.
the draft has I've kept my eye on it. However, it's not like it's in the back of my mind, if that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. This is the first time we're not worrying about someone coming in to save our franchise. We already got that. We
Right.
got CJ Stroud. We got Will Anderson. We got Christian Harris. We got Derek Stingley. What is going
Mm.
on, Pendless Swarm? So, you know, what are your thoughts heading into this draft?
It's a sense of calm
Mm,
that I'm not stressing, worried. The last 2 years has been like hell because you don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. No, you don't have a real direction. Like, even going into the draft,
mm,
yeah, we got D'Amico. We really didn't know what the direction the team was really going to go in. We assumed it was going to go where it's going now, but we had no idea. And so it was a lot of question marks and concerns and everything like that. I'm worry free, man. Like at this point, we gonna get who we get, and the way we built this team up right now, they gonna be impact players and
mm.
I'm gonna do some things, man.
So when we're talking about the NFL draft, no longer having a first round pick, AD,
Mhm.
two selections in the second round, pick 42, pick 59. Before we jump into the mock draft, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the needs heading into the draft. Mine go secondary help. So I would like to see
Mhm.
someone at safety, at corner,
Mhm.
defensive line for sure. I need a defensive tackle.
Mhm.
On the offensive side, I can go for a backup running back. And hey, I am still open to taking a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds. Tell me I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy, man. I think there's been a large disconnect with a lot of fans because wide receiver has been a want. Even after the Stephon Diggs
Mhm.
trade, people still was like, "Well, we still need more. We still need more. We still need more." And I think the disconnect that I get into with a lot of people on X and on on social media is the fact that I don't feel like it's a necessity that you have to get a receiver at 42 or 59.
Mm.
Now, if you get a receiver in its third or fourth round, shout out, shout out. So if you get a receiver in the third or fourth round, I mean, you're still going to get a quality guy
Mhm.
that's going to be an instant impact.
And speaking of this type of,
You lying about me being a tight fan? Hold on.
shout out to Low Key, man. He's in the Discord. He's having fun. But this draft is very deep at
Oh,
wide receiver. Now, another question. You think they trade up back into the first?
look.
And I was talking to Harley about this last week, and he said the only player I could see us trading up for will be Johnny Newton, defensive lineman from Illinois. He loves him and thinks that the injury history is being brought up as the reason why Johnny is falling. And he's talking about in the areas of 27 down, maybe in
Mm.
the 32 range. You're shaking your head. You don't
I'm,
like Johnny?
I mean, he's cool, but I'm not one that Derek Stingley had and everything like that. It kind of scares me off of him. He's very, very productive, but I also look at the styles of defensive linemen that D'Amico has and wants and has been bringing in, and Newton doesn't really fit that mold. But I, I, eh, I mean, everybody's hype on him, but I'm more of the on the side of give me Hall, give me Jenkins, you
Mm,
know, more in that line. Now, if you're gonna trade up for a guy, you
Byron
trade up
Murphy.
for Byron Murphy.
Yes.
You don't trade up for Newton. Newton will potentially fall to you at 42.
Mm.
I think I said this on my podcast on Tuesday. There's only going to be one defensive tackle taken in the first round,
That's Byron Murphy.
and that's Byron Murphy. I don't think any other defensive tackle is taking a defense. Any team is taking a defensive tackle.
This comment says, I can see the Texans getting a wide receiver in the second round, even after Stephon Diggs leaves, so that we don't have to pay him that much more money he's asking for and use that money for other areas on this roster. Look, you only have Stephon Diggs for 1 year. And if he has the season that we are all expecting, we're not going to be able to afford him. If you do draft a wide receiver in the second round, it is an investment for next year. But they have an opportunity to grow under Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, and be in competition with the other guys, Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie. You have someone drafted in the third round, and I'm looking at them too, and they didn't do nothing for me last year. As hot as we were for Xavier Hutchinson in training camp when he was making a snag every 3 plays, or John Mechie, remember when he broke Desmond King and everyone was like, oh my God, where is his ankles? Adding another wide receiver in the mix at 2, it will have a lot of opposing teams thinking they're going all out because once again, you're adding another weapon for CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for adding the weapons. Desperately want to add the weapons. I just don't. So this is the argument.
Go ahead.
Because when I bring up other players, other positions like linebacker, I'm told he's not going to play that much. Why are you drafting him at 42 when he's not going to play that much?
And you're talking about Adrian Cooper.
Yes.
So I would love to go Adrian Cooper
Right.
at 42, right? You see his 10 sacks, and that means something. If he does come in and is thrown into this linebacker rotation, you're going to see him on early downs. He is going to be blitzing heavy, and that's what you want to see in a linebacker in year 1. Look, everyone's saying that because we got Azeez Al-Shaair. Look, don't get me wrong. I am excited for him. I think he can have some of his best work with D'Amico Ryans. He knows this system. It should fit like a glove. But I think we should all also understand that D'Amico Ryans is still looking for his linebacker.
Right.
His linebacker. I don't know if you remember, AD, but there was a story about how it was late in the round, I think 5th or 6th round, and they were stuck between a linebacker and a running back, and they ended up going with the running back. We heard Fred Warner say in Super Bowl Media Day, there is no Fred Warner without D'Amico Ryans. And Adrian Cooper is the best linebacker in this class, and
absolutely,
this is the luxury of having 2 second-round picks.
Right, and that's my point. Is that same argument that people are putting on Adrian Cooper, saying he's not going to play that much, and you know we only run a 4-2-5, so he's not. You know we only run 2 linebackers out there. He's not going to get time. My thing is, we're only going to run 3 receivers out there, and it's going to be Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. So how often is that receiver, you know, going to play as much, just similar to Adrian Cooper? So, and I think, and a lot of people are high on these guys, and people are like super high. I don't think the talent drop off. When you get to the second round between 40, like when you get to 42 and 59 and everything, the talent pool is kind of equal. You know, the guys like people saying Xavier Legette and Keon Coleman and guys that may potentially slip to the second round, they're potentially slipping to 33 and 34 and 35.
Yes.
That's where they're going to be. When you get past those guys, you're going to sit up here and all the guys like Polk and McMillan and, you know, so on and so forth, all of those guys are going to be there, and they're all in that same mold, in that same area. You're not going to get a guy, because people are saying now there may be 8 receivers taken in the first round. You know, I think,
and that's just money for us, man. Just think about the talent that's just gonna fall back there. And when you talk about someone like Adrian Cooper, man, his 40 was a 4.51, His arms are ridiculous. They're 34 inches long. Some of his strengths, right? He's freaky long frame and athleticism, top tier closing and pursuit speed, violent downhill, and as a blitzer, his stats on the year: 75 tackles, 56 defensive stops, 27 pressures, 10 sacks, two pass breakups, two forced fumbles. What are we talking about here? This is the best linebacker in the class. And D'Amico, go ahead and get your guy. Do you have any issue with taking Edgerrin Cooper at 42?
Absolutely not.
Do it.
I'm all for it.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm excited right there, bro. Like
Yeah,
you,
I
you're
know it's
talking about
cool.
5 sack season.
Yeah,
Just learn, grow.
that's the thing, man. You got to find different ways to pressure the quarterback. People harped on D'Amico not blitzing most of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then when we started blitzing and how effective it was, that people started really focusing in and seeing, okay, he's going to be blitzing these linebackers because he blitzed the hell out of Christian Harris, especially in
Mm-hmm.
that playoff game.
Yep, against
So
Baltimore.
yeah, Baltimore and Cleveland.
Oof.
So you know, if that's what he's trending on doing, having a guy like Edgerrin Cooper along with Christian Harris is going to be ridiculous.
Mm. This comment right here. Think they might be looking at O-line too, because any more O-line injuries, and it won't matter if we have an extra wide receiver on the bench. If Stroud doesn't have time to get it to them, I don't think we are going to touch O-line in the first 4 rounds.
No.
I think we are banking that these guys are healthy. And the thing about this offensive line, what we learned is also is that the coach, Chris Strausser, this was his first year learning the zone scheme that Bobby Slovic runs. So another year of understanding this system and finally fully healthy, I have some confidence in this offensive line. And you look at the small battles that they won, right? No starters, 0 sack performance against TJ Watt and Alec Highsmith in the Steelers. I think we just need everyone healthy, AD.
Absolutely, man. People are people are shout out Blue Boy Shine. People are really, really. I don't know what the fascination is with the offensive
Mm,
line. Um, there we go. But I you don't invest that much in the offensive line to not see it through.
mhm,
It's almost like saying, I'm buying a Bentley, a Benz or whatever, or I'm buying a new truck, but I'm changing the tires every 2 months.
yeah,
Like it doesn't make sense, man. You got you guys, man. Everybody's here on the same timetable.
mhm.
Shaq Mason, Laramie Tunsil, and Titus Howard are all going. All their contracts end at the same time.
Ooh,
So yes, you want to invest in offensive line. You just don't invest high in offensive line this year. Now next year, okay,
mhm,
but you're not about to tell me I'm investing in the offensive line for one position. If all you got 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5 is taken care of. It's solved. Juice Scruggs at center, Shaq Mason at right guard, Titus at right tackle, Laramie at left tackle. That's settled. People, the question is left guard. You're not going to take your first pick as offensive lineman or
mm-mm.
for a left guard. It doesn't make team building sense that you're just going to give up on a second year first round pick that hasn't played. So,
So Blue Boy said, we were ranked 30th in the league at rushing, 30th, and we're running it back with all the same linemen. Well, here's the thing: this offensive lineman, the starters did not play one game together this year.
nope.
Laramie Tunsil missed the first 4 games with the knee issue. Titus Howard broke his hand at training camp. We didn't see Juice Scruggs for the first 9 weeks. We lost Kenyon Green at the end of training camp. Jared Patterson, who was your 5th-round pick, you lost him for the year as soon as Juice Scruggs came back. You had to bring in George Fenn, who played solid for you. You had to trade for guys like Kendrick Green, like Josh Jones. There were so much injuries on this offensive line. we haven't seen them play a game together, so I don't know what type of production we can get for them. But like you said, I'm not just going to change the tires every 2 months. I need to see
Yeah.
what I have. And like we mentioned, there were some times where this offensive line looked good.
Mm-hmm.
There was multiple games with 0 sacks, and that was throughout the season, not
Right.
just
We had a
in one
streak of like
portion of the season.
my bad. We had a streak of like 6 games in a row with no sacks.
Mm,
So I mean, come on. You gotta give it time to develop. And everybody knows that chemistry and cohesiveness is what makes an offensive line great.
mm.
So you have to give them time to mesh and develop and everything. Like you said, none of the starters played a single game together. Laramie was, like you said, Laramie was out. Titus was out early, came back and got hurt again and was out the rest of the season.
At left guard, not
At
not
left
right
guard.
tackle, left guard.
At left guard. And then, like you said, you had Patterson come in. He went out. Juice Scruggs came in after missing more than half the season. So I'm like, and Tunsil was flip flopping. And then Charlie Hick. We brought Charlie Hick back. Charlie Hick missed what, the first 10 or 12 weeks of the season?
I forgot he did.
Like Charlie Hick was out. Oh, well, let me say he didn't play for like 12 games.
Mm,
They brought him back off of IR or what is it, the pup list, and he was on IR or whatever. They brought him back, and he didn't play until like week 15.
mm.
So I'm like, it's a thing, and that's because Larry Tunsil got hurt again.
Yep.
So it's like, and George Fant got hurt. Every offensive lineman except Shaq Mason missed the game this year.
Yeah. Shout out to Shaq Mason.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were upset about the 3-year contract he was given, but dude, I think since like was it week 12 or 13, did not allow a single sack.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're in WrestleMania right now. The gong is sounded, and here is The Undertaker all the way from Pasadena, Texas, and parts unknown Harley. Dugan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Going on.
Thank you very much.
Whoa.
What a WrestleMania it was, dude.
Fantastic WrestleMania, by the way.
Dang,
My
epic.
goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. What a moment. What a moment.
I dropped to my knees when I heard that gong.
I did not expect that. We were really expecting Stone Cold. It seemed like that was the plan, but
Mhm.
whatever. That
Hey.
was awesome.
You can't have WrestleMania without the Undertaker.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
So
true.
All right, so Harley, we were jumping into this mock draft. We've only drafted one player, unfortunately. We've been having some great conversations. So at pick 42, your thoughts, your immediate reaction, Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker from A&M.
I mean, I absolutely love it. Jordan Reed, who I had on my YouTube channel just a few weeks ago, mentioned, D'Amico Ryans is going to be in search for his Fred Warner, and his Fred Warner could be Edgerrin Cooper from A&M. Just an absolute playmaker, and I understand a lot of people go, well, you just got Azeez Al-Shaair, and you have Christian Harris. We only utilized 2 linebackers, more of that 4-2-5 nickel set. I get it. I understand what they're trying to say, but I'm looking at this long term, and Azeez Al-Shaair isn't going to be here long term. And that's no offense to him, but Edgerrin Cooper, I would take Edgerrin Cooper right now over Azeez Al-Shaair. So, and that's just how great of a player so far Edgerrin Cooper has done, and I know how great of a player he could become underneath the tutelage of D'Amico Ryans, former linebackers coach. We all know what he's done, and we got to remember Christian Harris, the trajectory of his 1-year rock star year. At one point, he wasn't playing. Like, he was benched at one point. And so for D'Amico to continue to have the confidence in him to work with him, and kudos to Christian Harris for putting in the work. Because once you get benched, how the mentality is. Oh man, hell no, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
I mean that's what happened with old Zach Cunningham at one point. But that's neither here or there. The Houston Texans definitely get better with an Edgerrin Cooper at linebacker. Needless to say.
Mm-hmm.
Big homie Roach hit us with the sketch. What's up, brother? Harley, your thoughts on streamer sketch hanging out with CJ, Tank, Stephon Diggs, man. The old heads don't understand it, but I absolutely love it.
It's like that's like our dream, right? Like
Yes.
we're content creators, and like we'd love to get so big to a point where yeah, we're over at UCLA. You want to come over? Yeah, why not? Let me just get in my plane and I'll be there in just a few minutes. Like I mean, that's just like living the dream, man. And that's absolutely got to be awesome experience. Any fan,
the club over here.
any fan, if whatever content creator and their fan base and their fandom, you always want to be there practicing with guys that you are watching every Sunday, and guys, hell, shit, a lot of people look up to you. So that's awesome to me. It's awesome.
All right.
Nah, dude, AD, your thoughts on sketch going crazy right now?
Look, I love it, man.
I love it.
Give me all of it, man. Like, pause.
He's from the H,
right? Like, man, like this. This is just another step in the trend that's about to happen for the Houston Texans. Is that the popularity and everybody wants to hop on board, boop, boop, and we going up. It's up. When it's up, it's up. So, I look. It to me, it's expected at this point. CJ Stroud did what he did. Everybody with a hot topic right now. Everybody's loving the Texans. The Houston, especially those Houston fans. I remember when Rico started going crazy for the Rockets when the Rockets had on everything.
Yeah, he did.
And so Rico was at every game and posting, tweeting, going crazy. So sketch is just another feather in the cap for the Houston Texans, man. The people gonna be coming in droves supporting this team, man. I'm just excited and waiting.
Yeah, dude, and like he's from the H, and it's like he knows the team. He understands what's going on with this Houston Texans team. That is, as you know, that's all I can ask for, man. Is when you rep the city, you know what you're talking about. All we need is Mexican OT and a sketch collab with these Houston Texans. Then we're getting somewhere. But all ups to those two.
They already got him in the chamber. They got Mexican OT in the chamber. He's there almost every other game.
Bro, it's true.
Shout out to Virgil. Shout out to Bay City. Harley, I'll go with you. Pick 59 for this Houston Texans team. What are you thinking? Now, me and AD, before you dropped in, we talked about the possibility of adding another wide receiver to this arsenal. I want to get your thoughts on 59.
I mean, if you're looking at best player available here, they got Jermaine Burton up there, but I mean, wide receiver. I mean, Javon Baker is someone that's there that the Houston Texans have already had a top 30 visit with. Jalen Polk is someone that Jordan Reed had mentioned as a receiver, that he thinks could fit really well for this Houston Texans team. I mean, it's not bad to go wide receiver considering how deep the draft is. I do like some safeties there. Cameron Kitchens didn't seem like he performed very well in terms of the combine and everything, kind of a letdown, but overall he seems like on film, he seems like a really good player when he's on the field. And then when interior defensive lineman right there, I'm a big fan of Ruke Ororo, but I do question whether or not he's just raw, and that's a big pause. But potential overall, though, is just gobs of potential when it comes to Ruke. It's just whether or not that could all happen. I don't know if Michael Hall Jr. is still available for defensive lineman. I'm a big fan of him from Ohio State. Yeah, there he is. I'm a really big fan of him. Just someone that can play both schemes, as you see there. He could play inside. He could play outside. predominantly inside. He's a really good pass rusher, and that's what he's known for, is the pass rush ability. And then when it comes to his run stopping, he's all right. But again, this is why you have a buffet of defensive tackles that they brought in that can stuff the run, that can maybe not get to the quarterback consistently. And I think that's where Michael Hall really helps in that aspect. So that's someone that I don't mind at all. I mean, looking at Jonathan Brooks, that's kind of fun to think about. You don't really, you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't,
Backup running
but
back is a need.
It's
I mean,
absolutely
it
needed.
is a need. It is a need. Man, I know a pairing of Jonathan Brooks and Joe Mixon would be fun. It would be fun. And I'm here to make CJ Stroud's life as easy as possible.
AD, your thoughts on 59?
Look, it's a lot of picks that we just ran through, and I'm all
Yeah.
on board with all of them. One thing I think we didn't talk about was Hicks from
Mm.
the
Mm,
safety from Washington State. Is a underrated guy and a deep ball, what they call it, a deep ball
Hunter, I guess.
hunter, yeah, if you want to
Mhm.
say it. So he's one of those guys that I feel like is a great pick. But I do love Brooks. I do love Brooks at 59. I do love, you know, I mean, hell, I even saw Tavondre Sweat was still
Yeah.
available. At defensive tackle. Chris Jenkins, I like Jenkins as well. Hall, those two, I think we were just talking about it earlier. Um, about Newton. I think it was pre-show about Newton, and I was like, give me those guys because Newton probably won't be there, but give me those guys, Hall or Jenkins all day every day. Because both of those guys are dogs, man.
So
Mhm.
Harley, I go back to you. He brings up Tavondre Sweat, and the main concern about him is, can he play at 380 pounds?
No,
No.
he was big.
That's
He was in the big falls, man, when he was at UT, man.
I mean, man, look, I think he's going to be successful elsewhere. I don't, it doesn't mean that he's going to be a bad player just because I didn't draft him here.
Mhm.
I just, when I look at Tavondre Sweat overall, and I don't understand it, quite frankly. I look at the rest of the defensive line group that you currently have with the Miko Ryans, and none of them are literally over 320 or 325,
Mhm.
and Tavondre Sweat surpasses that by like 40, 50 pounds. So, last I saw he was 366.
Mm.
So, and that's still,
Hey,
heavy. And so Tavondre Sweat, as much as I think he's a badass as a nose tackle, 3-4
mhm.
nose tackle, can stuff the run. I just don't see the athleticism like a Vita Vea, like a Haloti Nada, where those guys were big guys,
Mhm.
but they were super athletic. I
Mhm.
just don't see that with Sweat. And then I question the pass rush ability. Like his pass rushing, it's not that great. I'm gonna be honest. I understand. Oh well, he can get to the quarterback. Well, I mean, he sees a cookie, he's gonna get a cookie. I mean, as big as he is, damn. I mean, come on now. But like at the end of the day, when I'm looking at his pressures, I look at quarterback pressures. And this man had no more than the same amount of pressures as Siaki Ika from the year before. And this is a stat coming from my guy Cody Johnson, who's a big Baylor fan. And Siaki Ika was a similar big 3-4 nose tackle,
Mhm.
that a lot of Texans fans wanted. We didn't draft. All right. I knew they weren't going to draft him. I don't see it at all that the Texans drafted Tavondre Sweat.
Mm. You guys got me excited on Jonathan Brooks. Now, we talked
Damn
about
it.
the luxury of having two picks in the second round. You will arguably getting the best running back off the board. Hopefully, he is healthy from his ACL tear. He had 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. He caught the ball 25 times, 286 yards. Unfortunately, his season went down due to an ACL tear. But this is a running back who is going to be running back number 2. And if we talked about getting a wide receiver and putting them behind Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, realistically, we might see a little bit of them. Not saying we won't, but with Jonathan Brooks, you add him in immediately to your number 2 back, if healthy. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Brooks, and like Harley Dugan said, make life as easy as you can for CJ Stroud. Let's shock the world one more time, man. Let's go all in, like Hannah McNair said.
Look, I do want to say
I wouldn't do it, but it's a mock draft.
I do want to say this though. I do want to say this. My boy Michael Gardman, Mike G, said he made a comment. He made a bold prediction that Devontae Swift won't go before the 5th round.
That's tough.
So
That's tough.
If it's in the 4th, I'm taking him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Yeah. Like if it's in the 4th, all right. You know what? All right, buddy. How's that Jenny Craig working over here in Houston? Like let me see a personal trainer real quick. How's our shit going on over here?
But you brought up a great point, Harley, when you're talking about Siaka Ika. Everybody was projecting him like as a 2nd round pick and everything like that, and he ended up going in like the 6th.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Everybody was hyping him up and saying he was going to be a high pick, and then boom, I don't know what happened, but similar build, heavy, great, nose tackle. But how often do you see nose tackles get drafted super high? Unless they're Vince Wilfork or Vita Vea, or guys in that mold. I don't think Sweat is a Vince Wilfork or Vita Vea.
Yeah.
We have a Colts fan trying to, be the only member of Colts Nation inside here, man. They think because of 8 quarters of Anthony Richardson over 3 weeks that we should be afraid of him. I'm not scared of the Colts, man, whatsoever. What are they doing for agency? Absolutely nothing, dude. I'm more scared of the Titans than I am the Indianapolis Colts. That's crazy that I said that.
Just let that simmer.
Hey, bro, I know when I go over the line and I got to stop.
Just let it simmer, man. I'll let you know what? He got that one. I'm going to let him continue that one.
AD, I go back to you. Pick 86 in the 3rd round. What are you feeling? Remember, we took Edgerrin Cooper and then we took Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the board right now. This is where I think you pulled the trigger on wide receiver. Well, that depends. Well, let me stop.
Okay, go ahead. Let him cut.
Look, let me see what we have at defensive tackle. I need to see who's at defensive tackle still, and then I can. It's fine. You know the pick now.
Yeah, already. Yeah, even so, like Michael Hall's there. I like McKinley Jackson as well from A&M. But yeah, this is easy. Yeah. This is who I would have picked at 59.
So he's here at 86. His pros can shoot gaps and get across the face of linemen with consistency. Looks like a basketball player with his Euro step setups. Decent ability to corner. His cons: leg drive lacks power and displacement strength even against single blocks, and does not hold up well against combination blocks. This is your selection in the 3rd round. D'Amico Ryans gets another defensive lineman, and I don't think anyone would be mad about that. I go back to AD. Which wide receiver were you thinking about?
I was looking at the Debo comp, and I was looking at Malachi Corley. That was going to be my pick, but then I was like, let me see if one of these guys, because if Hall and Jenkins were gone, it was going to be Corley for me.
The former running back turned wide receiver. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think Steve Smith Jr. or Senior, I forget like which one's his, the suffix that he uses. Senior. He said that Corley might be the steal of the draft. And Harley, I go to you if after the first couple of days, you see the first 3 picks for the Houston Texans: Edgerrin Cooper, Jonathan Brooks, Michael Hall Jr. What is your reaction?
I would be shocked at 59 if they took a running back. Absolutely shocked. Do I like it after you sell it to me? Then yeah, obviously a combination between him and Joe Mixon. And hell, I mean, I'm not gonna count out Damian Pierce just yet. I know he didn't have a great year, but who knows? Maybe something happens, and maybe the gift of God gives him the ability to read a zone running scheme like he can read it in a damn kickoff return. Who
Mm.
knows? But like, uh, I mean, I'm not going to give up on him yet. He's still on a rookie contract. So you could have Joe Mixon, Jonathan Brooks, Dalton Schultz, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Hell, I'll throw in a Brevin Jordan, and hell, I'll throw in
Mhm.
a Noah Brown in there. Why
Oh,
not?
that's
You know, I mean, that offense right there, you know, and it's so helpful because you mentioned Jonathan Brooks's injury with the ACL. Now he's going to be a running back by committee because I think he's that good to place himself into a
and he's
running back
used
two
to that.
role that can
He's
get
used to a running back committee.
exactly. And Joe Mixon, you know, he's had a lot of tread on his tires. You know, regardless how we feel about him, there is a lot of tread on his tires, and I think it would be good for the Texans to get another running back to pair up with him. It
Mhm.
would shock me at 59, though.
AD, you see Edrin Cooper, Jonathan Brooks, Michael Hall Jr.
Uh,
What is your reaction?
Y'all know that meme with the little baby at the Yankees game? To my yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's my
yeah.
reaction, man. Like
Uh,
I'm gonna be stoked, excited. Because we building a team, and as much as people don't want to admit it, we've drafted well enough the last few years that this draft is our depth draft. Because each one of those players that we drafted in this mock draft are going to be depth guys.
Mm,
Depth at linebacker, depth at running back, depth at defensive tackle. Even if we drafted a receiver, it would have been a depth guy. So
yeah.
at this point, I want to foreshadow and foresee this draft as being a depth draft.
Man, I'm going back and I'm looking at our former ones, dude. Like we drafted guys like Nico Collins, drafted guys like Jalen Petrie, drafted guys like shout out to Davis Mills. Oh, okay. Question. All right, Harley, I go to you. Great job. Houston Texans met with quarterback
mm,
Spencer Rattler, one of their top 30 visits. Now I ask you, is the Davis Mills, is Mills Mafia coming to an end? Please.
someone set up a vigil. Someone set up a candle prayer, man, because I know Davis Mills. He saw that notification and his stomach dropped.
Mm,
I went, oh, I saw the notification. I went, whoa, wait a minute,
mm,
interesting.
mm,
You know, because when I really look at it, the Houston Texans, and I understood, I ended up selling myself on this, on the idea of starting Case Keenum over Davis Mills. I thought it was a shocker, though. I
mm,
really did. I did not expect Case Keenum to be the guy to be the starter against the Titans. I thought it was Davis Mills. We saw training camp, and sure, Case Keenum looked like he was more composed than Davis Mills at training camp.
mhm,
But you know, this is already more than halfway through the regular season. He's been the backup the whole year. You know, he looked okay in preseason, nothing to go crazy about. And we all know what Davis Mills is. If you could get him on a hot streak, you know, if you can get him comfortable, then you know you could get something cooking. It's just trying to damn light the damn fire is really what it is. And so getting looking at Spencer Rattler, a guy that shoot 2 years ago was the projected number one
Number one
overall pick.
overall, baby.
mm,
And so, you know, there's a lot of potential there, you know,
mhm,
and then I go, oh, he's going to go into a system of Bobby Slowick, Kubiak, Shanahan system that I know is super quarterback friendly. I mean, if the damn 49ers can make Mr. Irrelevant look like a damn MVP, you know, I know we ain't got Kyle Shanahan, but we got old cousin Bobby Slowick over here.
mm.
And I mean, Spencer Rattler in this system, I think could work well for the Houston Texans. I've seen worse quarterbacks play good in this system. So if anyone could do it, it could be him, and it's rather interesting.
Reason why he says that is because Davis Mills threw one pass, completed one pass, a perfect quarterback rating. AD,
Facts are the
Look,
Houston
facts.
Texans,
I'm
meeting with
still
Spencer Rattler.
I'm still laughing at Harley. He basically said Davis Mills is a push to start car. And not, and not the one with the button, the one you gotta actually push to start.
Yeah.
But no, man, I think that this will be beneficial for the Texans because Spencer Rattler is not projected to go until like sixth round, fifth, sixth round anyway. If you take quarterback in fifth, sixth round, I mean, this is Keenum's last year anyway.
Mm.
And you go and you have David Mills, find him a market. Somebody will pick him up as a backup, and they'll trade for him or whatever. But Davis Mills is not it, man. I think we all know that. What is that? They said on the Spaces noodle arm, Keenum, who couldn't throw a
Yeah.
pass more than 35 yards. They chose to go that route over than going with Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Spoke too much volume for me to see him being any kind of part of the future of the Houston Texans at all. So, the coaching staff didn't believe in him. The fans definitely didn't believe in him. So, I mean, I would embrace Spencer Rattler.
We are about to say goodbye to the first ever draft pick in the Nick Caserio ever. He was selected with the 67th overall pick out of Stanford. And then the Houston Texans traded up a couple of picks later to select Nico Collins. Harley, what type of trade value does Davis Mills have?
6. Like, I mean, if Ryan Finley, a freaking backup quarterback for the Bengals or whatever, could get a 7th or 6th round pick or whatever it was, then I mean, Davis Mills got to be something, right? So I mean, he got to have at least a 6th, no less than. Obviously, there's nothing less than a 7th, but I don't know why I was gonna say that, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically it, man. You ain't getting nothing but that, and I mean, it's gonna be a low 6. Like it's not gonna be like anything. Don't let anybody get your hopes up or anything, and don't let Mills Mafia gas him up again. But hey, you know what? Actually, no, I will change my tune. I need him to gas up Davis Mills. Yeah, I need him
Build
to
it up.
gas up Davis Mills because you know what's really funny? I think it was John Crumpler. Was it John Crumpler, Ruben, that dropped that nice little statistical thing of Davis Mills year 1 compared to Will Levis year 1.
Oh,
and
and
man, that was identical.
Mm.
That was super identical. And damn, I know Titans fans just took a big ass shit hearing that.
say that
Because
one more time for Rossi. Say that one more time.
believe me, I will. Mr. John Crumpler, the doctor, he is not in the building, but he is in spirit, dropped a tweet that had year 1 Will Levis compared to year 1 Davis Mills. And I am telling you, the stats were near identical. And it was absolutely hilarious to think about, considering the conversations that a lot of other Titans fans want to have with CJ Stroud, or they pray that he does not become the quarterback that he is going to become. So regardless, it is hilarious to see that come out as a statistical comparison. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It made me laugh. It made me just go, well, they better not hope Will Levis is this guy. And I don't think he is. Will Levis's arm is more live than the Davis Mills. But there was times, man. That Eagles game when we were battle red in the battle red helmet, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh, hell no. Don't let Davis Mills be the Eagles.
Hey.
We gonna have everyone going crazy.
We'll never hear the end of it, man.
Hey,
He
that
was doing
300-yard game
balling.
against the Patriots,
That had everyone going
Mac
nuts.
Jones.
I mean, God.
Then he outdueled Justin Herbert.
Good Lord.
But that was all in year 1. Like he had some crazy stat that he had 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions at home, and a quarterback rating of like 100, and had like the best deep ball in the NFL in year 1.
The
And then
better
year
one
2,
is when he was wearing an arm sleeve. He had arm sleeve Davis Mills. Oh man. Those, they were gassing that up too, man. My goodness, it wasn't starting, but they were gassing it up.
Dude, I remember training camp. Me and you, Harley. Davis Mills. He starts off practice, right? Breaking news.
We're so
Davis
mean.
Mills gets first team reps in the first open training camp practice to the public. Throws it 3 straight times to the freaking dirt. And you hear me and Harley AD, we start booing.
We're the
And
only ones that boo.
we thought it was gonna be a collective like
Yeah.
boo, but no, it was just me, him looking like dumbasses, just booing, and everyone's turning around looking at us. We sat down, we shut up. We were like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry."
I thought we were in it as a team, you know. I'm sorry, I don't want to see him.
I thought
in
we all
no-
hated Davis Mills, you know.
yeah, man. I didn't want to see him in training camp. I don't want to see him in no Hall of Fame game either. Uh-uh.
I would much rather see Spencer Rattler than than Davis Mills in that Hall of Fame game.
What a conversation.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to an end to this second episode of Houston Texans football on the AFC Roundtable, quickly, AD, let them know where they can find your work.
You can always find me at the H-Town Rundown on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. It's the H-Town Rundown, man. Y'all go ahead and shout out and follow, like, share, and subscribe to the podcast, man.
And Harley, let them know.
You can find me at The Lead Houston anywhere on social media, especially on YouTube. We're on the road to 8,000 subscribers. We are less than 1,000 away from 8,000. So it's been a very good 2 weeks. Just a random jump in the board. So I appreciate everyone that has watched, liked, commented, subscribed. Appreciate AFC South Roundtable for giving us the platform to spew some nonsense every once in a while.
Absolutely. And guys, we'll be back. We'll let you know when. Do me a favor. Y'all have a real blessed rest of your day.
Peace.